On a third note, just wanted to provide an update on my current day condition. I am back on track with trying to eat within what I was doing for my skin because I feel like there's been a, a decreased amount of energy and brain fog, and also like gut discomfort. Haven't been eating the greatest. Just trying to get back onto the path of health. So, uh, emotionally, sometimes forget to take my medication, which is not really good. I need to remember to be better with that. It's just maybe once or twice in the past 2 weeks, so I can actually feel my anxiety spike up, or if I'm already low on energy, it's more apparently so where I'm like, oh my god, I really, uh, maybe I think the change of seasons also is contributing to it, but it's like I really can't get out of bed. Um, Thinking about different things in life. Right now, really enjoying living independently. I think between me and my dad, been pushing really hard those boundaries. Although at times, when I'm talking to my mom, she forgets to put on her headphones and she has it on speaker. It just makes it very uncomfortable that I may not be ready or I don't really want to speak to my dad at that time, but he ends up chiming in. And each time he chimes in, um, I shouldn't, well, I should say oftentimes because those incidences of him, because a lot of that, before a lot of times what I notice is every time he calls, it's not genuinely that he's calling to be asked like, oh, how you're doing, how things are going, updating how the house is doing, how mom's doing, and things like that. It's more like, oh, you know, he does a little bit of that as a preface and then goes into, hey, I have something I need your help with. um, I guess that's the Asian American experience. Because, for folks that have immigrated here, they don't know the language. Um, and obviously at this age it's a little bit harder to learn to pick up the language here, because your brain doesn't function in the same way. It doesn't have the elasticity that it did when our neurons connectors. There's a whole scientific video behind it, but and also research. There's less of a bit of elasticity in the brain in the way the neuron connectors are. So, um, yeah, it's harder to pick up those new concepts, right? But as opposed to when you're a child, you're like a sponge, you absorb everything. And it's easier to pick up different languages, and it's also easier to learn things, because your mind is processing things very differently from when you're an adult. This is something that I learned while I was learning. Part of when I was learning linguistics, whether it's like with Japanese or Chinese, we had to, as an adult, you had to use logic to kind of help you learn how to use a language. Where as a child, like root memorization, you can kind of make the connections. Um, so that's why they ask for help, but sometimes it's for something that's like it's something that they can. I know they're back then they couldn't, but nowadays, especially here in New York City, there's a lot of resources that they can go to and seek out help. I, for one, believe that I want my parents to be more independent. Granted, if one day me and my older sister we move somewhere else, out of state or whatnot, we're not gonna be close by in order to help them with these things. I just want them, I'm kind of pushing them to like seek out their resources, know where to seek help other than coming to us, because, you know, in those situations, it's going to be really tough for us to come and help them. I've already taught my mom how to reset the modem and, and reset the router, turn it, you know, so she, if she has internet issues, she can actually do those steps, take those steps to troubleshoot it. Um, but my dad is a bit more stubborn, and I don't know, very distrustful of external, or, you know, external outreach, I guess, for help. Um, it's just something that we struggle with, and but I can definitely say these days I don't get triggered by him as much as I used to, or at least he knows how to get along a little bit better with me. You know, he knows a little bit. He knows. I think it helps that I'm working with my therapist and working on ways of setting these boundaries that he knows how not to trigger me. Um, and me not, you know, and obviously I stay respectful to him, you know, and I try, you know, I try to assert some, you know, my boundaries as well. So I think we kind of come to a mutual understanding of how to get along better. Um, and you know, I think, you know, therapy may not be for everyone because some folks may not believe in it. I personally found it to be very helpful. So never be shy, and don't shy away from seeking out help if you really need it. Um, I mean, I've come a really long way from 2020, and wouldn't have been able to make it out of that dark time without a strong support system. You know, I want to thank my friends for that and my sisters immensely for that. Um, and uh, my family to a certain extent too. Sorry, I had a tummy ache, so I had to run out. But I don't remember what I was talking about. But um, well, one thing I do want to know, if I seem like I'm talking really slowly at certain points, is because I'm trying to formulate the right words to say. I don't want to say something that, you know, doesn't necessarily um, represent what I'm trying to go for, and also not to be incendiary. I just want to be. I want to sound as, even though it's expressing my opinions and my perspective, to also sound as objective as possible, if that makes any sense. So, yeah. Um, and it's pouring. I just hope my bathroom doesn't flood. All right, everyone, have a good day. Hopefully, I'll have more updates soon. There's really not a whole lot of happening. It's just work. I've been using Dupixent. I think I mentioned that in one of my videos, giving myself a shot every other week. Mm, uh, that's how I've been handling my eczema. It has gotten better. I don't have these really crazy reactions to food or anything that's around me. It's been good. All right. Take care of yourself now. All right. Bye.